Is this what you want? This fucking foliage? Is this what you want? Mr. Dips? Is this what you want? Me standing in front of EC3 buying designer coats? Is this what you want? Me sitting in some hipster hotel in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, fluffing pillows? Is this what you want? I don't believe this. This graffiti art, the hotels, avocado toast. All I want is a fucking Guinness. An ice cold Guinness. What the hell does that mean? Oh, this is what you wanted. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script.
I gotta be honest with you, man. I was contemplating not even coming on to do a review. And it got me thinking about a couple of things. Number one, I'm glad I have work. I'm glad I have you guys. Because without you, then I would not have anything to do during this time that we're living in, where we're getting locked down and more than likely we're getting curfews. I'm glad I have you guys. I really am. You mean everything to me. I know a lot of people were waiting for me to come on here tonight, not to talk about Monday Night Raw, because Monday Night Raw was non-existent. Monday Night Raw did not even need to take place tonight. I was not even going to do a review. But I know a lot of people are waiting for my opinion on the absolutely breaking news that happened right before Monday Night Raw. And that is the news of Wrestlemania still taking place on April 5th in Florida, not Tampa, but Orlando, at the WWE Performance Center. Wrestlemania will be conducted in front of no audience. Wrestlemania will be conducted with only WWE personnel. Personnel that will only be allowed for one reason and one reason only. And that is to produce WrestleMania. Usually, I am a man of many words. And this year alone, I'm not even talking about WWE. This year alone has left me speechless. I don't know what's going on. I just want it to all be over. I want you guys to be safe. I want you guys to be healthy. I want everybody to go back to work and make your money, support your families. I'm sad, man. I'm sad. I feel like I got all my frustrations out on social media before Monday Night Raw went live from the PC tonight. I don't really know what else to add. I hate it. I hated the show tonight. I hate that WrestleMania is taking place on April 5th in Orlando in front of no audience. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And it got me thinking, is there a silver lining? Is there a positive out of WrestleMania still taking place on April 5th? There are obviously negatives. The negatives are easy to zone in on, you know? They're easy to pinpoint. That's what I do best. What I do best about these fucking people. I pick out the bad. It's easy. It's easy. But I want to do something different, and I want to bring some positive to you guys about WrestleMania taking place from the Performance Center. There is some positive. Believe it or not, even though some of you reached out to me when I posed the question because I was very curious to see what you guys were thinking, if there are any positives. I would love to know what you guys think in regards to the positives about WrestleMania taking place at the PC, taking place in front of no audience, and I want to compare them with what I have written down for you guys here tonight. Because really, there is nothing else to talk about but that. There was no Monday Night Raw. We got an Undertaker, AJ Styles contract signing. Edge cut one hell of a promo, and you don't know what Edge had to go through just to be there. Becky Lynch cut a promo on Shayna Baszler. We did get one match. Even though we've seen it about 76 fucking times, we got one match. And Stone Cold Steve Austin was there to declare 3/16 as a national holiday. Doesn't feel like WrestleMania season, man. It feels like the end of the world is near. Feels like everything is just coming crashing down, and there's nothing we can do. Everybody says that WWE is on TV. Be blessed for that. Just be happy that you got something to take your mind off of what's going on. I don't need WWE to take my mind off of what's going on. I want them to do what they should do in regards to WrestleMania. And I don't see them doing that. I'm not happy about the decision that was made today. Doesn't make me feel good as a 38-year fan of WWE. I've never been more disappointed in the company than I have been today. I hate it. But we're going to try something different, like I said, and we're going to go over the positives about WrestleMania taking place inside the Performance Center in Orlando on April 5th on the WWE Network in front of zero audience. Oh, man, it's been a long day. It's been a long weekend. I hope you guys are feeling okay. Some scary shit's going on right now. I don't know what's going on. The uncertainty is the biggest thing that's scaring everybody. And I hope that it all goes away very, very soon. I'm very thankful that I have what I have here. Otherwise, I wouldn't have anything. I'm very, very, very blessed and thankful to have each and every one of you guys listening to me. The tweets that I seen today, the stories that I've heard today, the fear and the frustration and the stress on people not going to work, not knowing if or when they'll be able to go back to work, people straight out losing their jobs today. I know I shouldn't be here complaining, and I know I shouldn't be here taking things for granted. And I mentioned this on Off the Script this past weekend. I want to try and help you guys block out all that is going on around you in the real world. I want you guys to confide in me. I want you guys to sit here and listen to me, even though I might rant and yell and rave and bitch and moan. It's what I do. It's my shtick. But if I could affect one person, and I know that I do, because you guys reach out to me on a daily basis. If I could reach one person and make you feel good in this time of someone needing positivity the most, in this time of uncertainty, then that is the most important thing to me that I could be doing here. And I'm glad that I have you guys in on what I do every single day, every single week, right here on Off the Script. So thank you guys for being here with me. I'm JD. This is Off the Script, Monday Night Raw, March 16, 2020. I am going to go right into the WrestleMania stuff because that is the most important thing on the table today. But I want you guys to make sure you're following me on social media, at JDfromNY206. That is on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you guys missed any of the content that I uploaded this weekend, everything you need is linked down below in the description of this very video. If you want to show some extra appreciation, patreon.com/JDfromNY206. And tonight's podcast is brought to you not only by Harry's, but today's podcast is brought to you by my good friends over at Manscaped as well. So keep an eye and an ear out for both Harry's and Manscaped right here on Off the Script. Guys, I want to get right into the WrestleMania stuff. Clearly, the big news of the day, the big news of the evening, the big news of the year, really. I don't think anything is going to be bigger than this. It's going to be very difficult to top this one. WWE has officially moved WrestleMania to Orlando. It will not be taking place in Tampa. And WWE will be taking WrestleMania into the Performance Center in front of no audience at all. They confirmed that the Performance Center will be the home of WrestleMania 36. The city of Tampa went live with an announcement at 7 p.m. Eastern announcing that they would be canceling all events with large groups and would be limiting restaurants to half capacity. Ryan Satin spoke on Twitter, broke the news on Twitter. Here is the announcement from WWE, and I quote, "In coordination with local partners and government officials of Tampa, WrestleMania and all related events in the Tampa area will not be taking place. However, WrestleMania will still stream live on Sunday, April 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern on WWE Network and be available on pay-per-view. Only essential personnel will be on the closed set at WrestleMania in Orlando, and they will be there to produce WrestleMania." So that is that. It will be very, very weird. Everything about that day is just going to be very weird. Very weird about having the biggest show of the year take place in front of 0 eyeballs live in that arena. It's going to be unbelievable. Now, there were several other stories that broke around this news. NXT TakeOver and the Hall of Fame and WWE Access have been completely canceled. Now, I don't know when the Hall of Fame is going to take place. I don't know when NXT TakeOver is going to take place because clearly things were in motion for that show as well. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, no question. Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream, no question. The Broserweights versus the grizzled young veterans versus the Undisputed Era, no question. Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, Cameron Grimes, Damian Priest, no question. Things were in motion. According to PW Insider, NXT TakeOver and the Hall of Fame have been canceled and will not take place as scheduled WrestleMania weekend. This comes off the heels of WWE announcing WrestleMania will be taking place in front of no fans at the Performance Center. This is obviously another blow to the industry, not only WWE, but the industry. WrestleCon, done. Everything in and around Tampa, done. GCW, Supercard, Ring of Honor. Everything that was taking place during that weekend, canceled. Canceled. Of course, obviously with the show going on in the Performance Center, WWE has their own things to worry about because there are a ton of negatives surrounding that decision alone. And one thing that shouldn't be lost in all of this major news breaking this evening, obviously, like I mentioned, independent wrestling promotions, promoters, and wrestlers, they will all be out of a payday. And those are the ones I really feel sorry about. Those are the ones that my heart breaks for the most. So it is a very, very interesting situation right now with everybody piggybacking off of WrestleMania and WrestleMania in shambles, the way it is and the way it sits right now. Everything else that follows WrestleMania and surrounds WrestleMania that weekend might be something that you might not be thinking about. I want to bring awareness to that, and I want you guys to feel more sorry for them than you do for anybody in the WWE right now. Because that's how they make their money. Some of those guys wrestle 5 to 10 times a weekend. They make more money on that weekend, in that weekend, than they do all year. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy with what's going on. Oh, we got reasons why Vince McMahon refused to cancel WrestleMania in the first place and why it waited, or why he waited, why it took so long to come to a decision. So WWE is moving forward with storylines, and they are still advertising that the show will take place on April 5th like Everybody has seen tonight the Performance Center is the home of WrestleMania. So if WWE is planning on WrestleMania, Brian Alvarez discussed on Sunday's Wrestling Observer and noted that he's heard from people in the WWE that an insurance policy is the reason. He says, and I quote, "I don't know for sure. I can tell you 100%. I've heard from more and more people very close to WWE who are telling me that the reason this thing is not canceled or hasn't been canceled in a timely fashion or postponed in a timely fashion is an insurance reason. The city needs to prevent WrestleMania from happening for WWE to collect on an insurance policy. That is the information that I've been given from several people. I don't know if this is true or not, but these things are close to WWE, and that's what they're saying." Other sources have asked around about this, and a couple of people from WWE that have spoke up with this same story, or about this story, had told them that it is indeed an insurance policy. A decision on the show obviously came tonight right before Monday Night Raw to move the show into the Performance Center. Now, I don't know how much money was on the line. It's none of our business, really. None of our business, really, what WWE would have been owed or what they are owed for not having WrestleMania in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium. But that's the reason why WWE waited so long. Do I still think that Vince McMahon is trying to play God during this entire situation, like I mentioned on Off the Script? Absolutely. Do I think Vince McMahon is one of those people that doesn't give a shit about the fans? Absolutely. Everything I mentioned in Off the Script on Saturday is how I feel. I do feel like Vince McMahon wants to be the only game in town on that weekend because he wants to appear like the only form of entertainment that had the balls to stand up against whatever is going on in the world today. He wants to be the only game in town. Look at us. Dana White just canceled all UFC events. It took him the same amount of time as Vince McMahon, but he himself pulled the plug. They don't have storylines going on for months at a time. They could cancel and pick up right where they left off. Vince, the storylines were the least of his worries. Everything about Vince came down to a money issue. And it's so much to get into, I don't even want to dive into all the money situations that Vince McMahon could possibly be in here. But I do think that what I said on Off the Script, I do think that Vince McMahon is trying to play God and trying to be the only game in town and produce a show that weekend. I really do. I really do. I mentioned that he could be looking at no competition on a night like tonight, a night on Friday where there's no NBA, there's no NHL, there's no NCAA, right? There's no MLB when the MLB season starts in a couple of weeks. Nothing. He has absolutely nothing to worry about. He could have taken a boost in the ratings. Vince McMahon, I do believe, wanted to be above all. Look at my company. The XFL closed. Vince McMahon's own XFL closed with someone on the Seattle Dragons testing positive. They closed up shop. Their season is done. But here Vince McMahon is. Here Vince McMahon is. Every other wrestling promotion closed down or canceled, postponed shows. UFC was closing doors left and right. And here's Vince McMahon. Here's Vince McMahon. I went to the bar on Sunday afternoon for brunch. People were like, go home. I'm not going home. I wanted to go out and have brunch. You ain't telling me what to fucking do. I went and had a couple of beers. I went and had a chimichurri skirt steak with some roasted potatoes, okay? That's what I did on my Sunday afternoon. You ain't telling me to not enjoy myself, man. I'm looking at the TV. You know what I seen on the TV? Soccer in an empty stadium. Soccer in an empty arena. I seen aerial fucking acrobatics, airplanes, flying through big goalposts in Abu Dhabi. That's the sports that we got on fucking TV. You don't think Vince McMahon wants to capitalize on this shit? Of course he does. Now, I know Vince McMahon does not want to hold WrestleMania in an empty stadium. I'm pretty sure if I asked Vince McMahon, hey, boss, do you want to hold WrestleMania in an empty fucking Performance Center? The answer would be no. The answer would be no. But I do know that WrestleVotes reported that the majority of the people that work for the WWE pushed for a postponement. They pushed for a postponement. They did not want WrestleMania to be in the condition that we will be seeing it on April 5th. WrestleVotes actually tweeted out that it came from the very top. This decision came from the very top. What was Vince McMahon going to do? You got to really look at the situation and look at it deeply. What was Vince McMahon going to do? Clearly, he made the decision. There's nobody else that's going to tell Vince McMahon what to do here. He made the decision whether he liked the decision or not. He had no other choice. But outside of Vince McMahon, who made the decision, how many of those suits actually agreed to the decision? I would say about a handful. Kevin Dunn, more than likely. Whoever Vince McMahon has on his right testicle, I'm sure, said, yes, boss, whatever you want. Let me suck on the other one while I stroke the other one. You know? Let me suck on the left one while I tickle the right one. Type of deal, I'm sure. The majority of the people that work for this company, and I'm sure talent included as well, opted or wanted a postponement. But was a postponement really something that was a viable option? If WWE went with a postponement, was that going to be something that they could pull off? I don't know. I don't really know. WrestleMania is not an event that is booked in 3 or 4 months. It's not an Extreme Rules show. You know, it's not an Elimination Chamber show. It's not a Super Showdown show, no matter how many times they want to tout, oh, it's equivalent or greater than WrestleMania. No, it's not. No, it's not. I don't give a fuck who you are, or what you do, or where you take place, or where the show takes place, or how many fucking fireworks you got going off, or who you putting the show on for. It's not. Was it a viable option? More than likely, no. It's easy for me to say, why doesn't WWE just wait for the summertime and hold the goddamn thing in Madison Square Garden? I'm sure MSG, once they open their doors, when this ban is lifted, when social spacing is a little bit more lenient, and we can actually get back to living a fucking regular life, I'm sure MSG would open their doors to WWE. You want to have WrestleMania? Let's do it. Let's do it. Or the Barclays Center. Let's do it. Was that a viable option? Probably not. I don't know. Just based on the fact that we don't know what the fuck's going on with this outbreak. We don't know. People are saying 2 weeks. Everybody's on lockdown. We recommend you go home and lock yourselves in. Things are closing down at 8 p.m. Restaurants and bars and gyms and movies and everything. Social spacing. Be aware of where you are and what you're doing. Be responsible. Restaurants will only have curbside ordering. Delivery. That's it. That's it. Who knows? Everybody's got 2 weeks. Schools are closed for the month. Some schools are closed for the rest of the year. Some leagues closed up shop. We might not even see an NBA season for the rest of the year. Not until October. NHL, same thing. MLB, certainly 2 weeks, they said. 2 weeks. After spring training's done. Season was supposed to start at the end of March. And they said 2 weeks, suspended for 2 weeks. Give me a fucking break. The 2 weeks is them contemplating what they're going to do next. The baseball season might not even begin. We might be looking at a baseball season that doesn't start until after the All-Star break. It's ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. So the 2 weeks, the 3 weeks that everybody is saying, oh, just take it easy. Everything's going to be locked down for 3 weeks. We'll resume normal activities after that. Who knows what is to come after the 3 weeks? We might be looking at a whole fucking summer for this shit. And then WWE will be in the same boat that they're in now in June, July, August, September, October, November. Who the fuck knows? Who knows? Again, I hate it. I really do hate it. I know you hate it. I know we're all upset. We're all disappointed. We're all just... What happened to our WrestleMania, man? WrestleMania wasn't even feeling like WrestleMania. And now we got this. Now we got this. I know Vince McMahon didn't want to have it in an empty stadium. He made the decision. Obviously, he's going to have his yes men, but the majority of that roster, the majority of the people employed in that company would have rather postponed it. And Vince McMahon's a good businessman. It's what he does best. Fuck his creativity. He has none of that left. Is he a great businessman? I know that is 100% accurate. I'm no fool. Sure, Vince McMahon could have done something. But then again, after everything I just mentioned, if he did move it to June, he's got other events in other cities, in other arenas that he's already contractually obligated to. He would have ran into the same issue that he ran into with WrestleMania. If he cancels or pulls out, how much money is he going to be in the hole? That's money that he's not going to recoup. So it's either he holds WrestleMania now and admits this entire WrestleMania season is a complete failure. It's a complete wash. No matter what we think of the creativity and the storylines going into this WrestleMania, if there was an actual event, barring that, it's nobody's fault that this WrestleMania is ending up the way that it is. It's not his fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's not the talent's fault. It's not the company's fault. It's not the government's fault. Might be, depending on who you are or what you think. But what was the decision that he was supposed to make? What could he have done? No matter how many times I want to shit on Vince McMahon, you got to think of it in the way that he would be thinking of it. I consider myself a decent business guy. Not good with numbers, but I consider myself level-headed when it comes to business. What could he have done? There's not much that he could do. At all. I know, it sucks. It sucks. There are more cons than there are pros to WrestleMania being inside the Performance Center. There are more cons than they are pros. Like I said, could Vince McMahon have moved WrestleMania to a smaller venue somewhere down the road, later in the summer? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. He did not want to take a chance on the uncertainty that we right now are all afraid of. Possible contract, like I said, in place, venues, events taking place, already in place for the WWE calendar. That probably could not be moved. How much money would he be out if he moved and pushed everything back? It's a headache waiting to happen. What would this have meant for WWE's stock on Wall Street? The current state of the stock right now, it was down. The WWE stock, I believe, is hovering around $30 a share. This was a stock that was nearing $100 a share, down to $30. What would the current state of the stock be if WrestleMania did not take place? Would it go back to where I remember seeing it? What I remember my dad telling me, you gotta buy the stock. You gotta buy the stock. And I didn't. Next thing you know, it's 80, 90, 100. I'm like, fuck, I should have bought the WWE stock. He was right. Because my dad deals in stocks. Could the stock take a huge hit on top of what they are already going through? Did Vince sit down and think about that? Absolutely. What if WrestleMania didn't take place? What type of fear would that signal to the people that are invested on Wall Street in the WWE? They might not want to be invested in the WWE if their biggest event of the entire year did not take place. So what do you think they're thinking? What do you think Vince is thinking? He didn't want to make everybody on Wall Street, the people that are invested in his company, even more afraid than they are now by not having the event. That's something to also think about in this situation as well. You know, we may shit on Vince McMahon, but the man probably has shed 5 years of his fucking life off of what's going on here with WrestleMania this season. Now, whether you think that's good or bad for the product, I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but, I mean, I do have some compassion for him. Not much, but I can't imagine him feeling good at all about what's going on here. How much money he will be out. The set that I'm sure he already paid for, that he just sat on, waiting to be constructed. Sure, he ordered one of them big fucking pirate ships for Raymond James Stadium with the WrestleMania logo on it. How much fucking pyro he ordered for WrestleMania, thinking that the show was going to go off the way he wanted. And now he's sitting on all of that for what? For WrestleMania to take place at the Performance Center and have it never be used. It's crazy. It really is crazy. I may shit on the WWE. I may shit on everything that Vince McMahon does creatively, but in no way, shape, or form do I want to see the company fail or potentially be put in a position where there is no WWE. I would never want that. This is my fucking life. This is my childhood. You know? Give me a break. I love how people say, oh, JD all he does is shit on the WWE. Yeah, creatively. Creatively. If you sit there and think I don't have respect for everybody that is working there, you're a complete fucking idiot. I know what I do here, and I know what I watch, and I turn it on to you guys in hopes that you become a more intelligent viewer and not some fucking brain-dead idiot. But that doesn't mean I don't have respect for the men and the women and the people that produce this show and everybody involved in making WWE what it is today. This entire community wouldn't be here if the WWE is gone. So yes, I'd like for them to be around for a very long time, okay? Now the pros and the cons. The safety of the fans, first and foremost. Obviously, that's a big con, or a big pro, I'm sorry. It's a con because, it might be a con to some people because, I guarantee you there'd be some people that wouldn't even give a fuck about what's going on, would still sit in that stadium amongst 80,000 fucking people, not giving a shit, as long as they get their money's worth on a WrestleMania that I'm sure they paid for. Hotels and flights and fucking all these events that's going on. How much money are people out? How much stress is going on right now with people who have to cancel literally everything that they are planning for WrestleMania now that it's not happening? Sure, there are a ton of people that don't give a shit that would love to still be there. But there is a pro in the safety of the fans, no question. That should be the most important thing on everybody's list. It will be unique. There may never be another WrestleMania ever again to be presented in the manner that this year's event will be presented. The WWE always hype up a first time ever. This is truly the first time ever that will legitimately live up to that nauseating phrase that WWE likes to throw around. And I'm sure we will hear that first time ever. Maybe the only time ever. I hope that we never have to live through this again, because we look forward to it. No matter how much we shit on WrestleMania season, I think everybody in the industry, whether you love it or you hate it, whether you're a fan or you're not a fan, everybody sits and watches WrestleMania because it truly is the Super Bowl of our industry. No matter who is there, what championship is being defended, what fucking cretin they're putting it on, everybody sits around and has a WrestleMania party, whether you like it or not. I love it. It's something that I genuinely look forward to, even though I shit on it every single year. I look forward to it. I love it. And now we won't be getting it in the manner that everybody should be getting it. Superstars included. You know, how do you think they feel? It sucks. I'm grateful that there is a payday. I'm glad I have work on April 5th. Because I was planning on doing a retro review of WrestleMania 17. That's what I was planning on doing. I even polled everybody on Twitter. If WrestleMania does not take place on April 5th and it does get moved to the summer, what WrestleMania do you guys want me to review in place of WrestleMania 36? And everybody voted, well, the majority of you said WrestleMania 17. That's what I was planning on doing. I'm glad I have work on April 5th. I'm glad I have something to do for you guys. I'm glad I could be here and entertain you guys. Now, I hope it's not 8 hours, but I'm glad I could give you guys something that could take your mind off of everything that's going on. I could still be me amidst a lockdown. So I'm very grateful that we are getting a WrestleMania on April 5th for that reason, work. And this is an opportunity for me to tell you guys not only to support me and what I do, that means support everybody that does what I do. Everybody. Support everybody. Because this is a scary situation. Everybody in the community that does what I do, go out and support them. Because we are in a position right now where even though everything is so uncertain outside, it is still very uncertain or very much uncertain here in the community because we don't know what the fuck's going on. And if you think this is very easy to do and watch a show like we seen tonight that was as bare bones could be, it ain't. It's scary. It really is. Now, the ban on how many people are allowed to be in a certain space might be lifted by April 5th. And if so, I pray to the fucking wrestling gods. WWE needs some fan presence in that audience. Friends and family, something. There needs to be bodies in that performance center on April 5th. Absolutely no question. So I hope to God that by the time April 5th rolls around, the ban is lifted and we get a little bit more ease on the gathering in social spaces. Because that performance center cannot have an empty WrestleMania. I'm telling you right now. Everyone has work. Like I said, Vince, I know for a fact Vince didn't want to hold WrestleMania in an empty performance center. Or an empty venue, period. Never mind the fucking performance center. He didn't want WrestleMania in an empty venue. Maybe Vince is thinking everyone depends on these paydays, and he didn't want to jeopardize any of that with it being the biggest show of the year. If there's one thing that I care about most, fans obviously being safe, but it's that locker room that gets paid for all that they do. Some of these guys are away from their families 300 days a year. They don't see their kids. They don't see their wife. They don't see their mom and dad, their pets. They're on the road 300 days a year, breaking their bodies, taking years off of their life. For us, this is the one day of the entire year that entire locker room looks forward to because they get paid for all that they do. And WrestleMania is the culmination of that. I know I can be a critical fucking prick on the WWE product, but if WrestleMania doesn't happen, those men and women in that locker room do not get paid. And I don't want to see anybody ever out of a job. I don't want to see anybody ever not get paid, especially for what they do and the passion and the fucking love they put into it. And then something like this happens and then they're not compensated for that on the biggest show in the industry. Come on, man. There's nothing else on TV. So WWE could use this to sell the network and generate some subscriptions for the network. Some new fans could be made because there are no other sports distractions going on. If you want your sports fix, there's the WWE waiting with open arms. Now, like I said in the beginning, I would love if Vince McMahon's mentality was that of which the reason why he showed the entire men's 2020 Royal Rumble match tonight on Monday Night Raw, which took nearly 2 fucking hours of the show out, is I hope that they would use that and do that to build network subscriptions and push the network and the content that's on the network. You know, we didn't need to see the men's 2020 Royal Rumble match. You know, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, it sells Lesnar and McIntyre, and it tells you how Drew McIntyre got to where he is at WrestleMania on April 5th. But if you want to really sell people on WrestleMania season and what makes WrestleMania season so special, WWE could showcase a Edge or Randy Orton WrestleMania match, maybe an Undertaker WrestleMania match, something. An AJ Styles WrestleMania match, a John Cena WrestleMania match, something. Not only that it gets off how important WrestleMania season is, but it also pushes the network as well. Look, we have an entire back catalog of old school classic pay-per-views. Every pay-per-view in the existence of this company is on the WWE Network for $9.99. Not only are you going to get WrestleMania on April 5th, but look at all the other WrestleManias that you could go get. Look at all the other memories that you could relive or maybe watch for the first time on the WWE Network. That's what they should be doing. This gives WWE an opportunity, because there are no other sports distractions, to maybe take a fan who is not a fan, turn them and convert them into a fan, and maybe have them sign up for the WWE Network. So that is definitely a pro. That is all I got. That's all I got for the pros. I don't know what else to say. Outside of the calendar having WrestleMania happen on April 5th, it doesn't jeopardize the rest of the calendar. WWE could go on as scheduled. Storylines are not compromised. This is something that I was struggling with. I'm usually very good at brainstorming WWE storylines, telling you where they should go, where they shouldn't go, what they should have done, what they obviously should not have done. I'm very good with that. It's the reason why I'm here. But with storylines here, if WWE canceled WrestleMania or postponed WrestleMania, I was having a very difficult decision on what WWE should do. Do they just cancel everything and give us a brand new WrestleMania? Do they go into a temporary off season, put everything on ice, and then revisit it? I don't know. I didn't know. Clearly, we got our answer today. WrestleMania is taking place, and these storylines are going to happen. They will conclude. So another pro is that the rest of the calendar does not get backed up. We don't have to reschedule and shuffle pay-per-views around. Everything that's already in place can remain in place and will take place, if everything goes well and we get back to a normal way of living, on schedule. There are more cons than pros, though. There are more cons than pros. But before I do that, I got to shout out one of my sponsors here, man. Harry's. You guys know the deal about Harry's. Harry's.com/script. Now, I use Harry's every single week. Clearly, I need to shave and use Harry's because I'm looking pretty rough right now. But what if there was a 50% off sale happening every time you went shopping for razors? Shaving with Harry's is kind of like that. They offer premium blade refills as low as $2 each. That's up to 55% off compared to the price of Gillette's Fusion Pro Shield. Now, I love the smooth glide of the blade over my sensitive skin, and Harry's products are absolutely fantastic. Their shave gel tingles, it feels nice on your skin, and when I run the blade over my face, I have never once cut myself using a Harry's blade. Harry's wants to offer you guys even more savings. New customers get $5 off a Harry's trial set when you go to harrys.com/script. Harry's believes everyone deserves quality shaving supplies at a fair price. They don't inflate blade prices or add unnecessary features to their razors like flex balls or heated handles, tactics that these leading brands used to raise prices for decades. Harry's team combined a simple design with 5 sharp blades. They source their steel from Sweden and manufacture their blades in their world-class factory in Germany. They cut out the middleman and ship directly to you, saving you money and, more importantly, time. And if you feel good about your purchase, you should. It's a 100% quality guarantee. If you don't love your shave, let them know, and they will give you guys 100% cash back, a full refund. 1% of proceeds are also set aside for nonprofit organizations devoted to helping provide access to better health care for men and veterans. Harry's has an amazing offer for everybody listening to the Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script. New customers get $5 off a trial set at harrys.com/script. You'll get a 5-blade razor, a weighted handle, foaming shave gel with aloe, and a travel blade cover. Join the millions of guys who have already started saving money And go to harrys.com/script to claim your offer today. I want to thank them for supporting right here on Off the Script. Cons, guys. Cons of WrestleMania taking place inside the Performance Center. Classifying this show, and this is what I got so heated on, and I know fucking Tubby Emu, you fucking cretin. I know you're listening to me, bro. Love you. But man, you're a fucking goon. Never be upset with me about what I say, bro. Everything I say is 100% fact, okay? There's no reason to sit there and be, oh, we should be happy about WrestleMania taking place. Yeah, for content reasons, sure. But for WWE and wrestling-wise, the fact that it's taking place, bro, really? Really? Does anybody value anything anymore? Is everybody just stuck in this sea of mediocrity? To classify this show as WrestleMania is a complete fucking joke. This is a complete opposite of everything WrestleMania is and ever has been, and what WWE has told us for 36 years. No matter what is going on right now, the entire spectacle is gone. No pyro, no beautiful, unique set that I'm sure Vince McMahon is out a lot of money on, no possible musical performances, no over-the-top Mania entrances that we would get for their biggest talent and the biggest marquee matches on the show. This show will look like a complete failure on TV. Now, the show is normally 8 hours as well. I'm not sure what Vince McMahon wants to do, but WrestleMania this year cannot, and I stress, I urge you, because I know there'll be a lot of fucking people watching this shit tonight. I don't give a fuck who you are, you might be in the company. I don't give a fuck who you are. You take this message back to who needs to hear it. WrestleMania must not be 8 hours. I don't give a fuck what the hell you got going on. This show cannot be 8 hours long. They have built up the top marquee matches through whatever shit television we've been provided with. Okay? Keep it at that. Keep it at that. It will be nearly impossible. Virtually impossible. Not even nearly. Virtually impossible to feel emotionally invested if there is no crowd making you feel emotionally invested. Do you know how important? Do you know how important the crowd is to a pro wrestling show? The crowd makes or breaks a great match. The crowd makes or breaks a great show. What do you think ECW One Night Stand in 2016 would have been like if that crowd wasn't as rabid as they were? It's one of my favorite shows ever inside the Hammerstein Ballroom. I remember when Terry Funk came out with his fucking eye bandaged, wielding a 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire on fire. I remember Sabu DDTing Rey Mysterio in Hammerstein Ballroom, springboarding off the rope through a fucking table. That's what I remember. I remember John Cena being absolutely crucified on his way to losing the WWE Championship to Rob Van Dam. Seriously, what do you think that show would have been without a fucking audience? You know why that show is one of the most epic shows in the history of this business? It's because of the crowd. If that crowd reminded you of a typical Monday Night Raw in Corpus Christi, Texas, do you think I'd be sitting here telling you how great ECW One Night Stand in 2006 was? I mentioned, what did I say, 2016? 2006. No, it would not. It would not. That show was one of the best ever. A crowd makes or breaks a show. Or a match. How the fuck can I sit there? Who knows? Who knows? If I am watching a match between Roman and Goldberg, more than likely I'll end up shitting on it because of just what the match is. But who's to say they don't put on a match like Roman and Brock did at WrestleMania 31, and the crowd is heavily invested into it, and they make me change my mind, and they make me want to give it a 2-star out of a 5 instead of a 0.5 star out of a 5. That's a pretty damn positive fucking stance that I got on that match, I would say. Don't you think? The crowd makes or breaks a show. There is no fucking way people at home are going to invest themselves in this show at 8 hours like it usually is every year, where no crowd is giving back to the people watching at home. I don't give a fuck what you got to do. You got all your marquee matches laid out? Great. I would not, and they did anyway. I know I wouldn't have, but what the fuck do I know? They need to keep this shit under double digits. Under double digits. I don't give a fuck what you got going on. There are matches that do not need to take place inside that Performance Center on April 5th. Under double digits. Styles versus Taker. Goldberg versus Roman. Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar. Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley. Edge versus Randy Orton. Those are the big 6 matches that they have built up. Maybe a possible SmackDown Women's Championship match. I heard rumors of a 6-pack challenge, which is a disgrace in its own right. But that's what I'm hearing. Sasha and Bayley were teasing that they might stay home. I hope they do. I hope they do. But that's a possible 7. Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn, 8. And they just announced Rollins versus Owens at WrestleMania. 9 matches. That is all you need. I'll give you that. That's 9 matches. A typical WWE show. A D-level pay-per-view usually has 8 or 9 matches. And you know Goldberg and Roman Reigns is probably going to last about 3 minutes because Goldberg is going to fucking burn himself out just doing his entrance. So fine, 8 matches, realistically. Leave it. You don't need a Raw Tag Team title. There are no other teams for the Street Profits to defend the titles against. Nobody. You don't need it. Miz and Morrison, save it for SmackDown. They don't even need to be there. They don't need to be there. And anything else that you might have had planned, fuck it. Save it for the Monday Night Raw after Mania or save it for SmackDown. This isn't your typical WrestleMania. As far as I'm concerned, this isn't even a WrestleMania. This is a fucking wrestling show in a warehouse that they moved from a 90,000-seat stadium. For reasons you know why. WrestleMania? Hardly. Hardly. Hope WWE takes all their resources, and being that we're not getting WrestleMania the way we should be getting WrestleMania this year, puts it all into WrestleMania for Los Angeles. Edge and Randy Orton. Little asterisk, little side note here. Edge and Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. I forgot to mention that. I forgot. You're probably all looking at me. JD, what about Bray Wyatt and John Cena? There you go. There you go. Enough. You don't need any more. Edge and Randy Orton. I will give them this. Edge and Randy Orton in an empty arena match does seem fitting enough, though. For some reason, that might be the only match on the show that might actually be enhanced due to an empty arena. The intensity, the passion, the revenge, false count anywhere, right? Or was it last man standing? No DQ. They could go anywhere in and out of that PC. Ciampa and Gargano ain't going to be doing anything on NXT. They're not having a takeover. So why not? Leave it to Edge and Randy Orton to fucking burn down the PC. That match actually might be better with no fans in attendance. So that's what I'm going to be very interested in most out of everything. No matter what you think or what people say about WWE making people happy, and we have something to take our worries away with WWE programming, this is undoubtedly a black eye still on WWE to have the talent perform during a worldwide pandemic. Still a black eye. Everything else, everything sports related, is closed down. Like I mentioned on Saturday, Vince McMahon's trying to play God, and he's putting his talent in harm's way, no matter if they're following the rules of the government and having WrestleMania under 50. They probably can't even do the 16 matches that they want because they would be over the limit for what the government recommends, what the FCD or the FDC, whatever the fuck they are. You know, the limit that they had suggested you do not surpass as far as having people in the same social space. So they might not even be able to do the 16 matches. Keep it as the way it is right now. You don't need to add any more. You don't need to get everybody on the fucking show this year. This year is hopefully a way that WWE looks and maybe realizes, well, we don't need everybody on the show. Let's just do what we got to do and get the fuck out of here as long as WrestleMania is taking place. This will be a black eye on WWE, no question, because of them still holding an event while everybody else is on lockdown. Can't look good as far as WWE goes. And I do feel for guys like McIntyre. I do feel for guys like Edge. McIntyre, who wanted this all of his life to win a WWE championship at the biggest event in the industry, now more than likely will do it inside a warehouse with nobody watching, with no energy to feed off of. How do you think he feels? How the fuck do you think he feels? Who knows if WWE is even going to give Drew McIntyre the World Championship? This could be looked at as a way of WWE not giving Drew McIntyre a championship and maybe saving it for somewhere else, where there is actually a live audience. Who's to say WWE doesn't have Brock Lesnar get the win here and then we book a rematch when things get back to normal? You know? That's clearly something that's going to be on a lot of people's minds. How do you think Edge feels? How do you think Edge feels? Did you think Edge coming back after a 9-year absence, after being retired, being told that he could wrestle again at WrestleMania against Randy Orton, somebody that he's very familiar with, did you ever think he woke up and said, yes, I'm back, I'm going to do things my way, and then did you ever think he would think, man, I'm performing in my first match back after 9 years in front of an empty arena, and I won't be able to feed off that audience? How difficult do you think it is for him? Some crazy shit. It really is. This is not good, folks. This is not good whatsoever. If you guys are listening to this podcast right now, I want you to take a second and look down. I'm pretty sure you don't like what you see. When was the last time you shaved your junk? It's been a while. I know. Don't lie. Let's take a second to thank our sponsor tonight, our second sponsor in Manscaped, for holding you accountable to get rid of the funk and shave your junk. Manscaped is the only brand dedicated to men's below-the-waist grooming and hygiene. Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0 Essentials Kit. Now, I gave one of my best friends the Perfect Package, and word for word, he told me, and I quote, "Oh man, I can't wait to go home and shave my junk." It is the perfect tools for your family jewels. The Perfect Package 3.0 kit comes with a new and improved Lawnmower 3.0, waterproof cordless body trimmer, and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your manscaping routine. This third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to prevent manscaping accidents. Millions of balls are about to be nick-free thanks to Manscaped's advanced skin-safe technology. And of course, let's not forget about the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already hopefully put deodorant on your armpits, so why not put deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? When you purchase the Perfect Package 3.0 kit at manscaped.com, you get the biggest bang for your buck. Subscribers of Off the Script get a replacement blade refill for your lawnmower trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months, making sure your trimmer always stays fresh and clean. For a limited time, subscribers of Off the Script get not one, but 2 free gifts. The Shed Travel Bag, which is a $39 value, and the patented high-performance anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with code SCRIPT at checkout at manscaped.com. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job. Once again, that is 20% off and free shipping with code SCRIPT at manscaped.com. Your partner and your balls will thank you. Monday Night Raw, the actual show, quick. Well, not quick. I want to go over what was said on the show, but nothing really happened that I'm going to go in depth on, except the promos between Edge and Randy Orton, who wasn't there, and then the Undertaker segment with AJ Styles. So Edge was there and said when his dad introduced him to Orton 21 years ago, this young, fresh-faced athlete, his gut told him everything from that moment was going to change and their paths would intertwine. He talked about stealing the show for the IC title, rated RKO, destroying DX. I was proven right, he said. Up and down all of those roads, exchanging stories, finding out that we disliked the same people, that we owed the same man for pushing them to their capabilities. That man's name is Mick Foley. He said Foley wanted to show them what they could do and hand the torch to them. Randy, we grabbed it. We did. But there was one lesson I took from Mick that you didn't, and that lesson was grit. He said that was what he needed after 9 years of wrist and neck injuries and compete in the Royal Rumble. He said despite many similarities, Orton is an entitled brat. He said he got everything handed to him on a silver platter. He said it kills him and makes him so jealous that a guy like me had to work for everything and got it. I didn't get anything handed to me. I got raised by a single parent who broke her back to make sure my visions, my dreams could all come true, and they did. He said it makes Orton jealous that he threw him out of the Royal Rumble after 9 years away. I'm glad that they actually brought that up, and they made that a part of the storyline, whether it's just minuscule. They made that a part of the storyline. I was waiting for them to circle back to that because it was Edge who eliminated Randy Orton from the Royal Rumble. In fact, this entire feud could have been built off of that and built around that. And they have not mentioned that yet until now. So he threw Randy Orton out of the Royal Rumble and he said, you're jealous. This isn't love. You don't love me. You are jealous because you can't do what I do and that tears you apart. He said 2 weeks ago, Beth came back to give a medical update on him. What nobody realizes, what you don't realize, is that she was there to retire me again. She didn't feel it was fair that someone should be forced to retire from what they love to do, not once but twice. You just couldn't let her finish, could you, Randy? He said Randy pulled him out of a hole that Randy dug for him and kept him from making a terrible decision. He said, it's simple. At WrestleMania, if he's got the guts, he wants a last man standing match. I write this story, and this story isn't a tragedy, man. This is a redemption story, and at WrestleMania, you won't stand back up. This was fucking fantastic. This is easily the best main roster story on all of WWE television. Nothing is even fucking close this WrestleMania season. This is the only match on WrestleMania worthy of WrestleMania season. I'm looking forward to this match most. Now that not only are we getting a last man standing, but it's going to be in an empty arena. It's going to be a sight to behold. Fun fact about Edge. Edge had travel issues. He could not even get into Orlando. He was there on the show. Beth Phoenix tweeted on Twitter that Edge drove 17 hours to make this empty arena edition of Raw to cut that promo on TV. That was the only time we seen him all night. 17 hours. The man drove to fucking do that promo. If that doesn't tell you how happy he is to be back, I don't know what the fuck will. Now you know why we all love Edge the way that we do. Now you all know why we are happy to see him back. That's crazy. Is it a waste of time? Maybe. From the outsider's perspective looking in, maybe. Who the fuck knows? Maybe Edge wanted to be there. I don't know. Could it have been done at home in the comfort of his own home with Beth Phoenix? Via Skype? Via satellite? Sure. But the man drove 17 hours. That is fucking love. My goodness, man. Not many people at all would do that in this instance, but he did. So we go and they replay the entire Royal Rumble men's match from January. Awful, awful, awful. This was a show that should have been easily cut to 2 hours. We did not need to see that. I would have rather seen an old school Royal. They could have replayed the 1992 Royal Rumble, the 1993 Royal, something. I know they don't give a fuck about their history. They don't give a fuck about the old school, but Jesus Christ, man. I do not want to see a replay of a match that I only need to see once. It's not like I'm going to go back and watch that match over and over and over. It's not a classic. The Rumble was not a classic. It was good. It was better than most Rumbles were booked, but it wasn't a classic. That was definitely an opportunity for WWE to sell some network subscriptions and maybe show some WrestleMania matches. Something that is WrestleMania-esque. We all know what Drew McIntyre did to get to Brock Lesnar. We didn't need to see it again. You replayed it every single week in nauseam on television. Spare me. This was a waste of fucking time. 3 hours without a crowd going forward with flashback matches, in-ring segments, without fans. Come on, man. Jesus Christ. We got enough that we're dealing with. Then you're going to show us that? Back live, Taker and AJ Styles. Taker walked to the ring. One of the things I was worried about is that Taker was going to do his whole fucking dead man entrance. And I'm glad that he didn't. Taker came out dressed as Big Evil. Or Big Evil-esque. Had a beanie on. Had his head wrapped in a ponytail. No shirt. Leather pants. Ready to do business. He came in and he flipped the table over. He didn't want anything to do with this contract signing. Jerry Lawler was there moderating this thing. He got out of Dodge. We went to commercial break. We go back to commercial. We come back from commercial break. And AJ Styles is on the Titantron. He's on the big screen. The Titantron, the big screen, whatever. With Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, he pointed out that he was the one who challenged Taker to a match on the biggest stage of them all. Which, this year, I don't think that should be a thing, bro. Seriously. So, he said it's 2020, and while he's definitely on Mount Rushmore as far as WWE superstars go, he keeps showing up in an era that doesn't want him anymore, and would rather see him removed from it, says Styles. He says, you don't see Michael Jordan, Peyton Manning, or Brett Favre interjecting themselves into their sports anymore. Styles says you can sure as hell count on Undertaker interjecting himself into WrestleMania season, just like everybody else on the fucking card. Part-timer. Edge, part-timer, but we love Edge. He gets the free pass. Goldberg, part-timer. John Cena, part-timer. There's a lot of part-timers on this show, man. Seriously. It's not just The Undertaker. Part-timer mania. Most of the big matches that are built for this show have part-timers in them. So, I think I know whose fault it is, he says. It's your wife, Michelle McCool. So, he calls her Old Money Michelle, is what they're calling her. She dusts off that crusty old jacket and hat, watches you walk down the aisle and embarrass yourself. Undertaker, Mark, you are a shell of your former self. That flame you once had is totally gone, Mark. Let it go. And somewhere something should be telling me to have some sympathy for the old guy. I can't find it. It's not there. I'll tell you why. Because not once, but twice, you have stuck your nose in OC business. He then went on to say that he stole the victory from him in Super Showdown. Then he cost him another victory at the Elimination Chamber. Said at WrestleMania the lights will go off, but he can't hide. And we all know that you can't run. When WrestleMania is over, I will gladly pay for your assisted living costs. I mean, I'm kind of doing everyone a favor when I finally have you rest in peace. And he did the throat slash before he signed the contract. Then he tells, in a very comical way, tells Anderson and Gallows to bring the contract to The Undertaker. They say no, and then he yells at them, and they eventually do it anyway because they're a bunch of losers. So they go out there and they slide the contract into the ring. Undertaker is just standing there. The lights go out. They're still standing in the aisleway. Lights come back on. He's not in the ring anymore. He's standing behind them and he beats the shit out of them. Throws Carl Anderson into the steel steps. He throws Luke Gallows into the ring apron. He knocks Gallows off his feet, takes the contract, signs it, and then shoves it down Carl Anderson's throat. That's what he did. And that was it. Undertaker looked legit pissed. I don't know if this was a work-shoot type of deal or if this was just him selling the effects of what happened last week. But this is the contract signing for the match that is now official. Styles and The Undertaker. Styles cut a very good promo, just like he did the last time we seen him in the ring. And that was it. That was it. And I want you guys to know that with The Undertaker attacking the OC at ringside, that gave you a glimpse of what WrestleMania will be in the Performance Center on April 5th. Not good. Not good. Rey Mysterio versus Andrade. Asuka was on commentary, which was cringe, but it actually helped, if that makes any sense. She was very cringe, but she had so much enthusiasm and so much charisma that she filled a lot of dead air that would be during this match. She just made a very lively atmosphere, even though I didn't understand one fucking word she was saying. Rey Mysterio wins in about 7 minutes with a 619, and that was it. Who knows what Andrade or Rey or what's his name? Humberto or Garza are going to be doing at WrestleMania, if anything. I think we should keep them off of WrestleMania to preserve time, Vince, please. Becky Lynch made her way to the ring. She drove up in her 18-wheeler, by the way, which Brad Shepard reported. I just want you to know. Nobody else reported that Becky Lynch would be having a 18-wheeler for her WrestleMania entrance, and being that we're not getting Raymond James Stadium, she drove the 18-wheeler into the Performance Center. Well, not physically into the Performance Center, but she parked it outside the Performance Center, and she showed up in an 18-wheeler. So there you go, another story that Mr. Shepard got right. So give the man some credit, okay? Anyway, Lynch made her promo time matter here. This was very good. She said she knows Baszler is watching because my mere existence drives you crazy. She said as long as she is holding that title, nothing in her world would make sense. You have been taught, you have been trained, you can just bully your way to the top. She said she did it for 2 years in NXT, but now she's run into a loud, ginger, absolute legend of an Irish woman that makes you question the whole natural order of things. She said she wanted to explain it in terms of an animal scumbag like you can understand. She said every word she said, action, tweet, and interview is meant to get Baszler to think what she wants her to think about her. She said Baszler can walk around with her mouth guard in and her cold, dead eyes open, cutting through the rest of the division, but it enrages her and all her little buddies. But she wants her to do something she never does. Think about how it's going to feel when she beats her. I watched you demolish the entire division at Elimination Chamber, and it woke me up to a little bit of reality. But at WrestleMania, I'm going to prove that your whole life is a lie, and it's going to hit you like a truck. Thus, the 18-wheeler. This was a very good promo by Becky Lynch. Probably the best I have heard from her in a very long time. So, it's things like this that kind of enhance. The promo work tonight was fantastic on everybody. Edge, Owens, Becky, which is good stuff. And this was very good by Becky Lynch. We did not see Shayna Baszler cut a promo here. She was watching backstage. Everything that Becky Lynch said, she heard. Maybe we see her next week. Charlie Caruso interviewed Kevin Owens backstage. She asked where he would want the match with Seth Rollins to take place. Kevin Owens took the microphone and said that he accepts Seth's challenge. He said it's going to happen at the Performance Center. There's no better place, he said. I mean it. He said when they get in the ring at the PC, he has home field advantage. Kevin Owens says he started his WWE career at the PC. This is where I went through the hardest experience of my career when I had my WWE tryout, he said. But Seth Rollins did the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. Prior to that, I heard so many times from so many people that I don't belong in this company, that I'm not a guy for WWE. That's just not me. I wouldn't make it there. He said Seth said it before his tryout and after he got signed, and again a few months ago. He said he made so many memories in those walls and he will always consider them mentors. He said when they face each other at the PC, he will add one more memory to that list in the same building where he earned his place in WWE, and I'm going to do it at WrestleMania. So I like where Kevin Owens went with that promo. Do I care about the match? Absolutely not. I could not give a single fuck about Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins because the WWE built this feud off of something decent and then ruined it with repetition. I don't care. I really don't care. Steve Austin was the last thing that we seen. He made 3/16 Day a national holiday. He drank beer. He went over all the rules of 316 day. Byron Saxton gave him grades throughout the speech. And then Byron Saxton, at the end of all this, got in the ring, drank beer with Austin. He got stunned. He had beer poured on him. Becky Lynch came out, had a cooler of Stone Cold IPA, and they drank, and that was it. And Monday Night Raw was done. That's all I got for you guys, man. I hope you enjoyed what was a very non-existent Monday Night Raw. I know everybody is upset at WrestleMania and the news that WrestleMania will not be WrestleMania this year. I don't give a fuck how many times they say it. I don't give a shit who in the community says it's WrestleMania. I hate it. It should not happen. WWE should have postponed it at a later date. I don't give a shit. WWE needs fans at WrestleMania. WrestleMania in front of zero fans is not WrestleMania to me. And now WWE has to do the right thing and not make it 8 hours. I can barely watch fucking 2 hours of no audience. You're asking me to do 8 hours. Give me a break. The show was not in any way, shape, or form something that should have been aired tonight. If you want to air fucking highlights and all matches, by all means do so. Spare me the fucking time. WrestleMania is in the PC this year. April 5th. No crowd. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys on something tomorrow, I'm sure. It's my off day. I'll probably end up streaming or something. Maybe I'll do some gaming. I don't know. But I'll get you guys ready for the podcast this weekend. There will be a normal week of content. I just don't know how I'm going to handle NXT and AEW and SmackDown with no fucking audience. I feel like a part of me is missing, man. I need the fans. Pro wrestling needs the energy of the fans. I don't know if I'll be able to do it this week, but I'll be here for you guys regardless. See you guys then.